Hi there, May Flom here, and I am really excited today because I get to share with you some of my favorite new projects as well as some tips and tricks, all featuring the brand new Essentials by Ellen holiday dies and stamps. I'm really excited to be a part of a blog hop, and I will share a link with you there on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, to my blog post. And I've got all kinds of things going on because when it comes to the holidays, I love doing things for gift wrap. I love making cards, gift card holders. I love it all. So let's dive in and get crafting. The Christmas Scribbles stamp set is so much fun, and it's new to me, although it did release last year. So you might want to take a look. If you do have it, you'll want to pull it back out because honestly, it's so much fun. I love how it's got that hand-drawn scribbly look, but you can make it into some really nice, clean, and simple designs, or you can get really messy. And if you're someone who likes matching dies, guess what? You guessed it, there's matching dies for it. And yes, this is how I'm storing it. I'm storing it in the stamp container that it came in, and the dies on the back. That way I can't lose it. All right. So let's play around with this little wreath idea because this is an absolute favorite of mine. And here's a great thing about it. If you do not have a scribbly, messy, fun stamp that you can use a cookie cutter. You can use a plastic cup, paper cup, whatever you've got, a little dish, anything. And stamp with it. Yeah, you can stamp with just about anything. The key that I find is I ink all around the edge, and then I kind of swirl around. This can be a lot of fun with browns. You can get kind of a coffee stained look. Oh, it's great for a lot of things. And I'm gonna get out the cute little trio of stars up here. And yes, I have a great big stamping block, but guess what? The tiny stamping blocks disappear. And I am just going to stamp it in there and go around the edge. I love doing this. If you have some dimensional gold paint, that could be fun, like say stickles or something like that. That can also be a lot of fun, and I'll show you that as well. And what I like to do is move really fast. And I move really fast because that way it doesn't come out as a whole line. Instead, we get all these great little tiny dots, which you can really see here. Isn't that fun? And I just made that by myself in a minute. Okay, guys? Now there's a couple different variations now. There's a couple different variations now that you can go with. Here, as you can see, I just die cut and colored these stamps and gathered them around the outside while putting a big, bold die cut Treat Yourself, one of my favorites, and another Essentials by Ellen product here. Or if you want to go a little differently, or perhaps more traditional colors, I've put a banner across the middle and then just have die cut branches and pine cones peeking out. Now all of those splotchy splashes, that would be distress or dilutions. Either way, I like the distress a lot. You take the top off and just flick like so. And the gold, that would be my all-time favorite, of course. I very rarely do much without my Heidi Swap Gold Mist. And I just tap it on here. And I actually like to mix it up. I like to sometimes have it fully mixed and sometimes not. And the reason for that is you'll get a really great variation of color. You can shake it up more or less. And because I pop the top off and flick the mist, you have total control. As you can see, this one, it's never been sprayed. I always pop the top off. And how easy is that for the base of a card? A super simple, let's call it a recipe that works so well for me and I have so much fun with. Well, this is another card that I have made, and what I love about this one is I've got the die cuts and the stamps getting in use here, and I've got, this is the 'Tis the Season set. I put everybody on a 1-inch square, and then Santa here's the one that got die cut and lifted up on some foam for some mixed media fun. But as you can see, because I put the 3 little squares there, keeps everything organized. And I share this with you guys because a lot of times you see a holiday set and you think, what would I do with those little things? How would I organize them or put them onto a card? You don't have to be as messy with me as me with all my gold and my oil pastels and all that. You could simplify this, but you can still get a really nice clean design, and I really love the typed font. Now, this new stamp set, the Holly Jolly stamp set, what I like about this is these are great sentiments that can be used on so many things, from packaging to cards, so many ways, scrapbook pages, project life, whatever you're doing. And I really like that there's also the little sparkles, the little trees, and just a few little details, but not a ton of little details. I love it. So here's the card that I made, and you can see I used black embossing powder, and then I actually used distress ink to create the background there, mounted it on to some pattern paper from Lawn Fawn, stitched around, and off we go. My other project is this one. And I'm going to show you how to do this so super easy. Just a little box that I had laying around, and I painted it, put some tape around, and gold foiled it. Isn't that fun? And then look at the top. Ah, and you recognize this because that's from that stamp set we were just working with. And gold Delicata ink again, jingle all the way. Gold leafing around the edge. Beyond simple, you guys, beyond simple. So first, let me show you gold leafing. I know it's a dangerous thing to take on, but let's go for it. So you need a strip of double-sided tape, and it shouldn't be super thick. Well, I mean, you could use a super thick tape, but I like just a thin little strip, and we're just going to pull it off here. You can use other liquid adhesives. I'm going to have some tutorials coming for more ways for gold leafing, so if you can't get enough, stay tuned. And this, I discovered this at Ellen Hudson, and I'm so excited about it. Cosmic Shimmer Gilding Flakes. It's got a bunch of different colors, but it's so much fun because it goes so far. Now, here's the dangerous / messy part. Yep, we are just going to rub it on here. It is so easy to do this. I've been a fan of this for so many years, and I love that it's back, and there's so many flakes available, so many colors, so many styles. I just use my finger. You could use a special tool, I suppose, if you really just want to use a special tool. Me, not so much, because if I just grab a little paintbrush or something and wipe it off, it'll be fine. Okay, so how cool is that, and how quick and easy? And this has so much in it, I can't even begin, you guys. There's so much in here, and it's so much fun. So I've got those projects, but what I was actually just thinking is I could use some Hero Arts Ombre ink, and I'm just gonna wiggle. I just kind of do a double stamp on this because it was a little bit larger. But here's what I'm thinking, guys. Check this out. We just made this messy little circle. How great would this sentiment be? And look at me combining all the stamp sets. I am just loving this. I love how that looks, and it's combining with the greens and the golds. Oh my goodness. I am just totally in love with this. The only thing I'm thinking is that I want to incorporate another one or two of these stamps, since these stamps are a part of that particular set. So I'm just going to do a couple things. I'm going to use this Hero Arts Ombre pad again, just so I can get those colors to continue to come through. Now I will just pop a few little spots of adhesive on here for just a few little sequins. Guys, this really is one of my favorite card designs. I'm just loving it. If you have little rhinestones, that can be fun. A lot of things you can do. Before I call it a day, I've got one more idea I want to show you, and that is I'm going to take some gold ink. I've got the Delicata ink pad out again, and this is what I did on my little example you see up here, my little Jingle All the Way box that I'm having so much fun. This is one of my favorite tricks. I take that ink pad and ink up my stamp, and then just stamp it on, and go ahead and sprinkle a bit of clear embossing powder on there. And once that is heat set, now the fun really begins. Because now what we're going to do, I'm just going to take, and I can do it right on the same stamp block, I can do it on plastic, whatever. But I am just going to take some ink, and we could go green, you can go any color you want, Distress ink. And I'm going to take a water brush, I'm taking a water brush, but if you have a regular paintbrush, that would be fine as well. And I'm just going to paint some color on here. Next up, I am just going to dab off a little bit of that water. And it's still not quite dark enough, but that's okay. Because the next thing I'm going to do is get out some of the Distress Spray Stain. And I'm going to do two things. First, I am going to tap a few little dots on there, and you can see how they react, and they're growing. And I'm going to spray it with a little more water. I know I just took some of the water off, but I like to do that in layers where I'm taking water, adding water, all that good stuff. And if it's not quite there yet, same old trick. Take the lid off and just flick a few drops. And if you're not seeing the spread of color that you hope to, that's because it's not wet. And you just need to give it a little squirt to get it going. There we go. This is so much fun. And then just for a little added fun, I will throw some gold on there and let it dry. And you can just kind of keep repeating that. You can add more colors. If you add more colors, you might get something a little more like this. You can see how the gold and all the different greens are in there. You could use your brush more. If I'm having, like, let's say there's an area that the color does not seem to be sticking, I can come in here with the color and my water brush and just touch ever so gently, kind of try to guide it into the area where I want it. But basically, I love just seeing where that goes, and I always love getting more out of my inky products. And I hope that you have enjoyed all of my ideas that I have been sharing here today. Goodness knows I've been busy. All right, guys. Well, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment. If you'd like to subscribe, that would be great, or check me out over on my website. If you've not already, be sure to pop over to my blog link that I've got linked up there on YouTube so that you can check out the rest of the hop going on, because I am certain that there are all kinds of wonderful creative ideas out there. But right now, I'm going to get back to these coordinating dies and see what other magic I can work out with them. Happy crafting!